This is a dirty game, bro. And what I've always said is all is fair in love, war, and challenges, 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 and challenges.
I liked her up until this episode. This episode, she was getting on my nerves.
No, she always kind of got on my nerves. She never sat right with me. She always talked about intimidating somebody. And
she said that like once.
She said it on almost every episode about fucking wanting to intimidate the other girls. And
she's never said
there's plenty to not to like about her.
You just don't like her because she's a cop.
No, not at all. I know plenty of cops who I like. I do dislike the police generally, but no,
I'm just
I
making
definitely
fun
don't
of
like
you.
her. No, she's whack.
I just like her for her athletic prowess. Her personality is starting to grate on me right now.
The funny thing about it is, from what I've seen, she's pretty mid. Like,
I'm starting to think Desi's stronger than she is.
Desi has been performing fan-fucking-tastic.
No, that's why I like her.
And Sarah's kind of mid. So, I finally got more of my shit set up. I got finally getting shit set up. I got a new chair, got a new desk.
Is this you're in your new place, right? You moved into your new apartment?
Yes, I moved into the new apartment.
House.
Apartment. Ugh. What do you think I am?
It's California, dude.
It is expensive as fuck out here. Just ridiculously. To an obscene degree. There's no reason why all of this shit is expensive. But where I'm at has always been kind of expensive. And come find out, I'm only supposedly about 30 minutes from like Roseville, California got voted like one of the best places to live. It's only a half hour from here. So I might just do that way. Plus, old girl's closer on that side anyways. So who knows? What's really good, pot stars? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. She is Becky at Giftmaster Bex. What's really good? Gang, 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 gang. All right, so back to the perfect algorithm. This week we got paired up Danny, Angela, Derek, Kayla, David and Alyssa, Tyson, Cachet, and Zokira, Kylan and Shannon, Dom, Desi, Cinco, Azza, Ben, Justine, and Leo, and Sarah. So not a whole lot going into A Block, but some very important stuff. One, we get to see that Ben and Sarah they're aligned together.
They're a dynamic duo.
Yes, and loose alliance with Tyson. But we also get to see the beef behind them on Survivor. You know, they've all played the game several seasons, and Ben and Sarah have both burned Tyson. Of course, Tyson has also burned them with everything they have. Tyson really wants to have Ben on his team, but Ben is still kind of unhappy with Tyson. He doesn't fully trust him. What do you think about this dynamic? Because when we think Survivor strong, these are the main people that we consider about Survivor. It looks like there's some chinks in the armor.
I mean, there has to be. I mean, this has been foreshadowed for, I think, a couple of episodes. Because Tyson has mentioned that Sarah did send him home twice, and that he was a little bit bitter about that. He didn't say that, but you could tell by his tone that he was definitely still a bit bitter. And you could just tell that Sarah doesn't trust a lot of people in the house. You know, she trusts Ben, and you just can tell that. Just the energy and the dynamic between the two of them. But they're in an uneasy and basically just waiting for the other shoe to drop alliance with the rest of the grouping. But you could tell by this entire episode that it was foreshadowing that Survivor is going to go the route of Big Brother and start, you know, taking down the numbers.
Absolutely. I'm really glad to see it because, one, it brings a little bit for us. I know some people who always watch these shows, they already kind of know everything that's going on. But for us, I thought it done a really good job of bringing some depth to the character and giving these characters a little bit of storyline. I mean, up until now, Sarah was just was just a girl that wants to intimidate the other girls. Ben was, the guy who's been performing decent in the cowboy hat. Tyson is really one of the few standouts, but even that's only from his performances. And I've yet to really see his personality shine. And even though he's made a couple of moves in here and he made a couple of plays, we haven't really seen a whole lot of character from him. And I think that's kind of done on purpose. Now, the only other thing that happened in the A block of note is Cinco and Cachet. They finally sit down. They finally talk. It was nice seeing that. I thought it was very cathartic to some degree. They broke up right before entering the house.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen how much Cinco is flirting with all of the other girls. So it's probably...
We only saw how he was interacting with
Tiffany.
And everybody, like, I was like, damn, Cinco? But,
right?
but a portion of that is how much is it flirting and how much is it like having fun and just joking around in the house? Because that's the thing, like, just because I'm joking with you doesn't mean that I'm flirting with you. Just because maybe I put some lament on your shoulder because you wrenched it doesn't mean I'm trying to bone you. It's just, but of course, when you're an ex, every single interaction is like, oh my God, she's flirting with him.
Right. And then it's hyper analyzed. And I don't fault Cachet too much for it. Being for the fact that it was so fresh, apparently this happened right before going into the house. So yeah, that has to suck. But, I do give them, even though we haven't seen a whole bunch from Cinco in terms of personality, is one of the most prevalent storylines that we have this season. This season is sorely lacking a lot of storylines. A lot of this shit, the running joke is Danny's wife Kiki has more screen time than some of these challengers. But,
Kiki's gonna kick his ass.
So let's go ahead and move on to the daily, and what a daily it was. Today's daily is going to be called Barreled Treasure. There's a lot to this game, but basically all the challengers have to jump off a barge, swim 150 yards to a buoy, memorize a code, like a binary code, swim another 75 yards to a barge, and to a boat, open up the barrel, swim back, drop it off, and do it again and put together the puzzle. Normally not crazy, but for some reason, a lot of people in the season cannot swim. It
happens every single season, even on the regular challenge season. You have the people who are not strong swimmers or are terrible swimmers or don't swim at all.
But usually that's one or two, not five. And not this late in the game.
Cachet. Who was the other girl?
Are you talking about the people
Leo?
Who can't swim?
Yeah. Because you said like five.
Yeah. Cachet, Azza, Enzo probably couldn't swim, and Leo. I mean, Enzo looks like he was just like gassing out more than I think Justine can't swim either, even though they did pretty good this season. So like 4 or 5 people.
I mean, they did it. You got to give Cachet some props, because that's actually a really good strategy that they had, where she's like, I'll kick my feet, you tug me in the right direction. And
in reality, Tyson pulled one of the most impressive daily wins I've ever seen, because Cachet goes, she opened up the wrong barrel, which sends you back 75 yards to the code, and you have to swim back.
And they're the only ones that had to do that. Tyson
fucking dragged her while she kicked her feet, came back during the puzzle, and won it. And mind you, this whole time, the team of Derek, Derek
and
Kayla. Derek and Kayla was looking so strong throughout this whole elimination. And that puzzle is a great equalizer. It evened everything up. Once everybody's at the puzzle, then it's anybody's. And Tyson coming through.
What didn't help, though, is that it was upright versus laying down and on the side. So that added a whole different dimension of difficulty, because you have to hold the puzzle pieces so they don't fall over.
And this is what I didn't understand why I didn't see teams doing. Why wasn't one person doing the puzzle and one person holding the top pieces?
I wanted to know why people weren't really trying to do it on the ground.
Oh, even better. Also, when it comes to these kind of puzzles, 2 minds usually aren't a good idea. And
you really want to have one person kind of strategizing.
And a lot of older challengers kind of realize that. And a lot of them would just be like, hey, I'm going to do the puzzle. Like, just sit back because it just messes things up. A lot of great stuff went down during this. A lot of great stuff went down during this daily. What were some of your other favorite moments, good or bad?
I mean, Leo's ridiculous. And literally, I wanted him to drown because he was just getting on my nerves. I was like, you are the worst I've ever seen. And you're just, something about him was eking my nerves the entire time.
I feel you 100% on that. He didn't perform great. But here goes the thing. There was a lot of people who didn't perform great. Even Tyson showed some frustration, but he really kept a hold of it. Even with people who had bad partners, like Cinco.
Cinco was so great.
Exactly.
With Azah.
You've seen how these other people treated their partners, and Sarah continues to kind of be trash when it comes to that. And she's been trashing Leo all fucking day, all game, all episode, just trashing Leo. Nobody, and don't get me wrong, no, he's not the greatest competitor, and no, we haven't seen a whole lot from him, but he's your partner now, and you can definitely treat him better than what we've been able to, to fucking see. I didn't like it.
I mean, I think she really, like, last episode, it did irk my nerves with how much she was like, he hasn't been performing well, and I just got stuck with a shitty partner. And this episode, she's like, gosh darn it, I got another shitty partner, and she was just trashing him. But again, I also understand why, because I don't think any amount of he takes this as a joke, which is what kind of I understand her being irritated by, because you can tell that someone is she's super uber competitive. To have somebody make a joke out of this when she's like, the catfish
joke was legendary. It's a
legendarily bad.
Yeah, some of the best jokes are bad jokes.
It's like a dad joke. I'm a catfish. Seriously? I was like, wait, the boom in the background.
Yes. It was cool watching Sarah do a flip off the thing when Leo refused to jump down. But she just trashed
even TJ got sick of him.
And she's right now, from what I've seen, she's mid as fuck in the challenge. She's Survivor.
I don't think she's mid. I think she's just not had.
Her performance is mid.
But I think she's not had as strong of partners, though. You can't always carry somebody so much and expect to win. But I guess that could be, I was going to say, but that could be said because of what happened with Tyson. But also Tyson, it does have more strength, and Cachet had a little bit more heart. Yes, did you see the way he was gripping Sarah's back? Like she was a boogie board?
Yeah, that was wild. So
like a little Leo backpack. She had a catfish backpack.
Man, it was he did real bad. But Tyson's performance was just great. A lot of other people did great too. Derek and Kayla really dominated most of this, and I had them picked to be the clear winner.
Strong swimmers.
Very strong swimmers. And also, I think that a lot of people took notice of how they performed too. So big shout out for them, because I don't think Derek or Kayla is really seen as being like, near the top when it comes to competitors, but maybe this makes somebody think twice about crossing them.
Not physically. I mean, if you think about it, they're not a Desi, and they're not,
But if you can swim and do puzzles, that can take you far in the challenge house.
But again, there's a lot of equalizers in this game, and it seems like they're pulling in a lot of puzzles. Yep. So it's like they could, I mean, look at what happened when, oh my God, what's her name now? Oh my God, Derek's partner's name is Kayla. There we go. I should remember that because since she's the same name as the girl I hate. But anyway, Kayla, you saw how well she performed when she was in elimination against Cashel and Tiffany.
Yes.
And that was a puzzle.
Yeah, a lot of puzzles this season. Very little contact. We need, man, this CBS version is so fucking sanitized. So sanitized.
It's made for families. I mean, it's on regular family TV.
That's why there's no fucking goddamn shit.
That's why they stuck them all in the same room.
Not that I'm rooting for it. It just changes the fucking aspect of it. But anyway, moving on.
Well, it brings a lot of different things into it too, because you're looking at alliances made from hooking up, and then you got a lot of people who are politicking is a thing. But you know, you also have the people who hooked up with them in the past. Like if Cinco had hooked up with a bunch of girls, then they would have messed with Cachet's mind, and then he would have caused rifts with the other girls.
Do you know how many rivals pairs came from shit like that? Are we ever going to get a Challenge USA Battle of the Exes? Like, you know,
that would be interesting.
If we're going to open this up, you got to open it up to the, you know, stuff in our past too. So at some point, they got to put them in separate rooms to a certain degree. But anyway, moving on. Tyson gets the oppressive win. He got $16K in his bank account. Oh man, this guy is just impressive. I think this is like his third daily win.
Yes, I believe it is.
He's been doing really well. And it was weird too, because during the A block, we see Sarah, Ben, and Tyson. They're all supposed to be buddy-buddy. And then Sarah says something during this part. She says, I feel kind of safe. She knows Tyson won't put her in. As soon as she said that, I'm like, oh shit, probably
you're going in.
And as soon as that was said, I was just like, oh shit, they might pull a okey doke. When we get back to the house, Cinco tells Azza that, you know, they want to play shit close to the chest because Cachet might manipulate the situation. And I don't know, from what I see for Cachet, and I didn't see a Love Island season, but I thought that wasn't really fair to her. She didn't seem like she'd been manipulating a lot of stuff in the house, actually very little power. And she doesn't seem like she wants to hurt Cinco in any way. I think Cinco could have used this as an opportunity to kind of get who he wanted. I don't know. I don't really like the policy of don't give them anything. Because they didn't. They sat him down. They didn't give him a fucking thing.
Well, I mean, she did orchestrate the Tiffany situation. And so
Tiffany orchestrated the Tiffany situation.
Well, Tiffany was involved, but I think that honestly, Cachet propelled it to a place that it didn't need to go. But
she ticked off a lot of people in the house and being part of the cookout.
Whatever. Sorry, I just can't. I really liked Tiffany, and I'm really upset. I'm still upset that she's gone.
I like
but
Tiffany
anyway,
too. Do you not like Cachet?
She gets on my nerves, and I just don't think she's strong, and I just don't like having these weak, petty, bitter looking. She's making girls look bitter, and it's not okay. That's the problem.
You know what? I do not agree with you. I think it is okay. I think it's okay to be hurt. I think it's okay to sometimes let your emotions get the best. She's hurt, and that's what it is. We're just seeing a hurt person trying to make it through on TV. You see her, she be in bed crying at night. She feels some kind of way. She's just hurt. And it's okay to be hurt.
I get it. But maybe it's because I just don't have an emotional investment in her. That it's just like, oh my God, stop whining. Have you ever had that point where you were like hearing the same person say the same shit over and over again?
Yeah,
I hate him. He treats me so bad, but I love him. Shut up.
This is one of the few storylines we do have. So I'm willing to allow it for now.
I'm just saying, have 3 or 4 chicks who are like complaining about their men not loving them, but they still love. I love him, but he treats me so bad. Run away, bitch. It's called toxic situation. You don't want to be in it.
But the relationship didn't really seem toxic. It just seemed like it didn't work.
And honestly, in all honesty, the way she makes it kind of come off, it makes her look, because he seems like he's chilling. He's not even outwardly being an asshole. He probably has he's probably done this a couple of times. Has a firm feeling. He probably has, because you know what? When I go through a breakup, I'm kind of the same way. I'm kind of, well, it's over. Or, you know, on to the next.
Not on to the next. I don't want to cheapen my last relationship, but you know, it was just like.
Well, I guess it depends on how long the last relationship was. I mean, I don't think that they were together for years.
No, I don't think it was for that long. It's funny because I remember very specifically, I had to make a very concerted effort to be sad. Be like, oh man, how you doing, man? Because, you know, my last relationship was like 5 years. Like, yo, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm just trying to take it day by day, step by step, you know. And then I was like, no, actually, I'm fucking fine. I'm 100% good.
I think it depends on how you left the relationship too. It's like if the relationship ended on a way where I'm like, I'm done. I've reached my here.
It
I mean, you
probably
can.
wasn't.
I mean,
And she's hurt. Just let the hurt girl be hurt. She'll get over it.
I don't know what he did to her. Maybe he did a really fucked up thing.
It just sounded like a breakup.
Maybe I'm not being supportive as a female.
Exactly. Yeah. Support women, Becky. Damn.
I don't support whiny women, but I support women.
Heartless. Anyway,
Sorry.
I was really impressed.
Might give a fuck. It's broken.
No, that's all right. I was really impressed by how much Cinco and Azza was able to just stone face this. But I don't think that was the best situation.
I think Cinco could have used it to his advantage. I agree with you there.
Even though the people who was voted in, I don't think was a bad choice. On paper, it should have been one way. We'll get to that in a minute. But I love the fact that like Cassie was like, well, so who are we going to vote in? It's just like everybody's on the menu. Like if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So I definitely love that.
I think Tyson's ready to start making big moves. That's the thing. I think he knows that right now, where the numbers are finally starting to dwindle, it's time to start taking out some of these major players. And honestly, Sarah being connected to Leo, this is a perfect time to get her out with such a weak partner, or a weak quote unquote partner. I'm gonna put the quotes out there because obviously everybody has their strengths somewhere. But
so before we get to the elimination, we see Kayla burn Ben to Tyson. Now, here goes the funny thing is, this is not the first time Kayla got into somebody's ear. Kayla is she's lightweight, one of the better social players that we don't really see a whole lot of. She does it on the low, she does it with intention, and she does it with fucking pinpoint fucking accuracy. I love that for
she's unassuming.
Kayla.
She's like your bestie that everybody kind of like doesn't like take as much notice of, but she's always watching. She's a people watcher. She knows when she needs to strike.
And she's not too out there, doesn't have this, huge, flamboyant personality. And even more so, she's non-problematic. She's one of the few people, because as we all learn, once you've been on the challenge long enough, almost everyone's a monster at some point. Everyone has these character flaws that we accept because it's reality TV, and you kind of have to have people without character flaws are boring.
Well, what is it? It's just different variations, different degrees of trash. How?
I love that. Different degrees of trash. And we accept that because this is our trashy reality show. And that is fine. That is 100% fine. Because we all know, us being smarter, that these people are kind of parody versions, not parody, but like really heightened versions of themselves for the show. And that's to be expected. We all expect it. But when it comes from her, it comes off as genuine. Of course, she's looking out for herself, but she can also look out for you too. And she hasn't done anything too crazy where she broken the trust of a lot of people. I love the way she's playing this game.
Queen of Knots. It's not what you say, it's how you say it and when you say it.
I think Kayla is going to surprise a lot of people with how far she makes it. I think the only thing that's going to trip her up is she's going to, she's going to scheme on somebody, and it doesn't work. They come back into the house and find out that she did it. I think that's going to end up being her downfall, because we got to see if her performance actually holds up. Now,
but she knows who to go to, though. Like, she's not just being willy-nilly. She's not telling everybody everything. It's not like she's giving a news report in the middle of the hallway. She's picking and choosing who she's sharing information with.
Exactly, which is a very smart move. So we get to elimination, and Cinco Azza is coming down. Now, remember, Kayla burned Ben.
Yes.
So when we get up there, who does Tyson calls in? Goes Sarah and Leo, which took a lot of people by surprise.
Sarah was pissed.
and so much for Survivor Strong. But here goes the dope part. I thought it was a good move. I wasn't against it, because Ben might win this one, and you're still taking a shot at Ben by taking out his support system, and you're also taking out somebody who you don't trust. On paper, and it's Cinco. I mean, up until this point, you would think that there's nothing he can't do. So I'm not against this move. What did you think about the strategy of putting in Sarah over Ben?
Like I said, when it comes to it, this was the best opportunity to get Sarah out with someone who nobody wants to be partnered with, number one. So that allows for a lot of people to be like okay with the situation because Leo has pissed off a lot of people and irritated a lot of people. But also to get out a super strong female, in as much as you say she's kind of mid-card, I think that if she as an individual person,
I think as in performing.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's because it's more of a partner season. It's very similar to like a Turbo situation. Let them go singular and they will murder you in the street. But it's kind of one of those kinds of things where you look at it and go, this is the best time to get her out. She's with a weak partner, quote unquote. And she's frazzled because you pretty much backstabbed her thinking that she wasn't going to go in.
Off guard.
Mm-hmm.
But here goes another thing that I really like. Tyson might be able to save himself a little bit on this one. Because, remember, originally he was going to go for Ben. But Cachet was just like, yo, Justine's my friend. I want to protect her. And that's why Sarah was placed on the menu. And he could move that. He could move a decent amount of blame, even though I don't think that'll work. But he got to put on Cachet. In fact, that's what I would have told. If I was Tyson, that's what I would say. I said, okay, we're going to go with who you want. But when it all comes down, you got to take the blame for the vote. You got to take the blame. And that's easy to pawn off. No, I didn't want to vote you in, but, it's a partner. I got to respect my partner. She wanted you, and I just wasn't able to convince her to not vote you in. And we just couldn't come to an agreement. And she's going to say, yeah, I wanted to save Justine. Let her take the heat. It's the least she can do for you getting the win for the daily.
Because really,
that's how I would have played it.
The fact that now she's eligible to go into the final, because that girl ain't gonna make it to the final. I'm sorry. That girl's probably got maybe 1 or 2 more episodes, if we're lucky. If she's lucky. But I just look at it and I go, you're lucky you got partnered with someone so strong. And she was super excited because she knew that he was her best bet to get through. And now I think she's just going to try and fly under the radar, which she's not going to be able to because she's been too.
Oh yeah, not after this shit. She's not. So the elimination is going to be called a dark turn, and it's actually really kind of cool. But once again, no fucking contact. There's film reels spilled all around. They come in 4 different sizes. You got to run into a dark room. You got to fill, and we've seen this kind of elimination. And we've seen this in Daly's elimination before. They got to fill it out, and then they got to stack it on a puzzle. And inside
I'm surprised they didn't bring back the gas. Remember?
No, the gas was a terrible fucking idea. No need to gas. Yeah, no need to gas these people. Yeah, no need to gas these people. That's fuck out of here.
That would have made it really interesting.
It would have been terrible. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see this yet crying and the snot coming out. So this was very interesting. Of course, Leo and them jumps in to get inside the container and start looking it up. Leo comes up with this Leo quadratic system of something. And before they go in, they line up all 4 sizes and they figure out a measuring system. And they're out there for a cool minute too, trying to get it down, trying to get it packed. And it fucking works. They go in, they know their sizes, they line it up, they fucking smash Cinco and Azza. Not exactly the most exciting to watch, but strategically, whoa, chef's kiss.
I mean, you think of Leo not really being super strong, but he really did come through because I don't think Sarah would have won this with very many people because she didn't think of, I don't think she would be, I don't want to say she's not smart enough because I don't know her I don't know of her. She may be a genius, but she didn't come up with the system, but she sure as hell took advantage of it.
Listen, if she had Tyson, and Derek's supposed to be good at puzzles, so he might have come up with something like this strategically, but any other male, she loses.
Sure.
So the person who she's been trashing, the person who she's been shitting on since the beginning of the game, saved her ass. How's that?
It's going to bite her in the ass, too, because she's been talking shit about him the entire time.
I don't think so, because Leo doesn't have a great standing in the house. A lot of people view him as weak. A lot of people are going to want him out just because they don't want to be teamed up with him at some point. So I don't think, he was like, oh, Tyson, I called you big bro. Tyson, I could give a fuck less.
Tyson's like, okay.
It reminds me of The Wire when Marlo was about to kill Prop Joe. He was like, oh, he treated you like a son. He's like, I ain't asked for that.
When did I agree to this?
So Sarah and Leo is coming back, and they got a bone to pick. Oh my God. Sarah at the end, like, doing all that. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Remember, this woman is a cop, and it looks like she might be a little bit unhinged and aggressive. Unhinged and aggressive.
Oh my God. She
Super
does.
aggressive.
I'm not going to lie. I was like, I was reminded of back when you were talking about other things where it's like, there are good losers and good winners.
She's like Laurel beating Ninja. Like,
Bad winner.
But then again, I give her props because, oh my God, her shit must have been running hot. That shit must have been running high as fuck. She was probably super pissed. I'm not super surprised a side like this came out. She probably feels fucking amazing for pulling off such a great win, coming back into the house. And because the funny thing is, I don't think she's going to be as big of a problem as she thinks she is.
Who?
Remember,
Sarah?
Sarah. I mean, yes, she has been. They might pull a lot of the survivor support from Tyson, but Tyson has been winning. Who would you side with?
Well, I'm not going to side with either of them because they scare me. Both of them. If you Survivor,
who would you pick? Would you pick Team Sarah or Team Tyson? Good Team Tyson. He's a winner.
Because as a woman, as a female, I'd want to support Sarah. But as a realist,
I was supporting women. You support Sarah, but fuck Cachet, right?
But as a realist who has watched these games and watched these shows and watched the episodes, I would go Team Tyson just because I feel like he just has a better option to win. I think he's gonna win more dailies. Now, I will also say this. Tell me this perfect algorithm is gonna stick Tyson and Sarah together in this next episode.
Oh, if that fucking happened, Jesus Christ. That would be amazing though.
I'm over here like the way he says the perfect algorithm. And I'm like, oh shit. It's going to be Tyson and Sarah. They're going to be partnered right after this whole shit went down, and it's about to go down.
But you know what? If I was a challenge, I wouldn't even do that. I would team Sarah and Ben and give Tyson like Shannon or something.
True.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Shannon.
Well, I mean, she was in the beginning portion, looking real modelly.
So Sarah is going to have a huge gripe, but fairly interesting. And now we have another main focal point for this season. I'm glad these people are starting to get a little bit more stories. This episode overall, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 stars rating. Where do you put it?
I mean, because I did enjoy a great deal of it. And that comeback from that daily was amazing. Like, I literally was
amazing.
I was shook. I was like, no fucking way. That just happened.
The daily required a lot.
Do you know how long it's been since I've actually done that? I can't even remember the last time I said, oh shit, did that just happen during an episode? So I got to give it a solid 4 because I was thoroughly impressed. And it caused a lot of nail biting. It was dramatic. I was excited. And the drama at the end, even though Sarah was really extra, I think she's really not going to like the fact that is all over, probably going to be memed for the rest of the life. Like, oh, yeah. You look crazy. It's not cute.
Yeah, very excited to see how that's going to play out. But that is going to wrap episode 5 of The Challenge USA. Anything we got covered, touch on before we get out of here? Anything else happening in the challenge world that I may have missed?
I mean, not really. It just, honestly, I can tell you that I know that the next season of the challenge just ended. That is now in the can for the regular challenge. So hopefully that'll be coming out soon, or we'll get an idea of when we're going to start seeing that.
I would fucking love that. I'm still not completely sold on Challenge USA just yet, even though I do see a lot of potential.
I think they're trying to get their feet wet and trying to figure out what works for them. I think that because the MTV challenge has gone slightly off the rails. So
to say the least.
Yeah. So when you think the regular challenge, they got to pull back a little bit, and Challenge USA has to push out. They've got to be more aggressive with their storylines, with their characters. They need to bring people in that are going to draw people to want to see a season 2. It's just, or to be able to watch the War of the World shit that they're going to put on Paramount Plus.
Listen, how did All Stars become the best the best show?
Because it's with original OG people. Like, that's the thing. Like, we're nostalgic. Like,
nostalgia is a very powerful drug these days.
I mean, I wasn't excited to see Beth show up. I was hoping that somebody else would show up. I was like, what the fuck is Beth doing there? Out of everybody you have to choose from, you choose fucking Beth? The fuck?
Because they feel like she's gold because she's so polarizing.
But she's not even, like, funny anymore.
No, I'm over Beth.
Like, Tina still has the it factor where you can kind of...
She's at least hilarious.
You want to watch her. Like, you want to do that. But then you see fucking people like Beth and you're like, why aren't you in a retirement home somewhere?
Big facts. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 5 for us. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love War Challenges. Copy official Love War Challenges gear at shop.lwc podcast, and our website is lwcpodcast.com. Get your customizable challenge gear and accessories at shopthechallenge.com. And make sure you listen to Love War Challenges on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. Once again, I am MTV Malik. She is Becky at Giftmaster Bex. This is Love War Challenges. Good night.